Hello and good evening to you. Welcome to News 360 and it's live news up here at Adesawe in Kanda. My name is Alfred Okanse.
And I'm Natalie Fort. A look at the top stories this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paid,
GT Bank,
and Calipo. Interior Minister denies that vehicles used by masked armed men during the Ayawaso West Wogan by-election belonged to the police service.
IGP David Asantia-Pietu warns the leadership of political parties the police will no longer tolerate political vigilantes.
Also ahead this evening, MP for Asin Central Kennedy Ejapong found guilty of contempt of Parliament, asked to go and sin no more.
And the people of Ekonfe in the central region lament their hope in the One District, One Factory initiative is waning. But we're getting to business tonight, where Chief Executive Officer of Consumer Protection Agency describes as unreasonable the high import duty on second-hand vehicles.
And on the international front this evening, at least 34 Indian parliamentary soldiers killed in a bomb attack by militants on their convoy in Indian-administered Kashmir. We've got the details of these and a lot more news coming up for you live here on News 360. You could watch us on DSTV channel, it's 279, and on our Facebook page, it's TV3 Ghana.
Right, and remember, we're very, very live and interactive. Share your thoughts with us. Let's go on to our first story this evening, where Parliament is debated and eventually a decision has been reached for giving the Member of Parliament of Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapong. This was after the chairman of the Privileges Committee, Joseph Sewusu, presented his committee's report on the probe of alleged contemptuous comments made by the legislature against the House of Parliament.
The Asin Central MP Kennedy Ejapong was found guilty of contempt of Parliament for describing the House as cheap and useless. The House was divided over the decision to take after the question was posed by the Speaker for the adoption of the report of the Privileges Committee. Sitting had to be suspended for 2 hours, after which the House was reconvened. The Speaker then gave Kennedy Ejapong the chance to render an apology to the House after the minority raised concerns for the House to decide whether to suspend or reprimand him.
I respect Parliament and I would never disrespect Parliament. As for calling Parliament useless, I never said that. The misunderstanding was because Parliament is cheap. I did not finish and the presenter cut it. And therefore, if you listen to the voice, you can reach at this conclusion, which then I have to apologize. And therefore, I sincerely apologize to the House if they find it offensive that
Deputy Minority Leader James Kluchi Aveji was not satisfied with the apology.
The prefix is apology with if, conditional. So, and Mr. Speaker, you rightly advise that you should take note and give the apology unconditionally. And then he sat down. So it is not clear if he has taken your advice to apologize unconditionally.
Majority Leader Osei Mentor Bonto came to the defense of the Asin Central MP.
He has apologized. I appreciate the point made by the Deputy Minority Leader. And initially, he qualified it. But subsequent to that, I think he came back and declared unconditionally. He declared unconditionally. Initially, yes, he qualified it by if, that if it offends anybody, he apologized. But subsequent to that, he came and rendered an unqualified apology. I think that we can leave it at that.
The Speaker, however, put the question to the House for a vote.
And to reprimand is to in fact say, go and sin no more. All those in favor of reprimand say aye. Aye. Those against reprimand say no. No. The ayes ayes have it. And this honorable House has adopted the pathway of a reprimand. And I will therefore say, Honorable Ajipon, don't give honorable members the opportunity to regret giving you this opportunity.
All right, so let's stay a bit further on this. Dr. Rashid Rahman is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. He is currently in Burkina Faso now, joins us via Skype. I mean, I saw the smiles on your face, Dr. Dramani, when the voice vote was going on in Parliament. There are many who are not surprised by this, that go and say no more. But could Parliament have done any different to Kennedy Japan?
Yes, Alfred, I think the reason why I was smiling was that I think we are at a point perhaps in the history of our parliament where we ought to begin to perhaps have a head count vote, if you like, on matters such as this one. Because I thought that I heard the no was louder than the ayes. So I was a bit surprised when the speaker, the Right Honourable Speaker, said the ayes have it. That was why I was smiling. But you know, like I was telling you yesterday, the purpose of sanction in this particular case, the Work Privileges Committee, is to ensure that first of all, individuals are punished. Secondly, they are told to go and sin no more. And I heard the speaker use that phrase. But I don't think the message that was sent today is a message that could aptly be described as go and sin no more. I think it's go and then sin again, because I'm not too sure that this is deterrent enough.
But could Parliament could Parliament have done anything different? I mean, considering the person, Kennedy Japan, and the fact that really this is not the first time he is caught in a situation like this that has gone to the Privileges Committee. I recall you spoke to me earlier, a couple of weeks ago. You said that there are some persons in every parliament who are untouchable and they wield some power, and as a result, really not much can be done to them even if they go wrong. Does Kennedy Japan fit in that particular category?
Well, Alfred, I don't know. I mean, that's what our research shows. So I think I will leave it to your listeners to pass that judgment. But you know, the sad thing is that you could see, even in this case, spirited defense mounted by some people from the minority, from the majority, and then you would see that the minority is on the other side. I mean, i.e., the position taken by the Deputy Minority Leader, James Abeji, and then the position taken by Honorable K.T. Amon. I was following some of those deliberations. It's very, very sad that on every issue in our parliament, we get members of parliament not really looking at the national interest, but rather just simply looking at the colors that they represent. Okay.
Dr. Dramani, thank you for your time this evening. I'm extremely grateful. He is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, currently in Burkina Faso.
Let's turn to some other stories this evening, as Minister of the Interior, Ambrose Derry, has denied that the vehicles used by some masked armed men during the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency by-election belong to the Ghana Police Service. He said that the Inspector General of Police, David Asante Apietu, told him that the vehicles were not from the police service, although they had the police logo on them. This was when he appeared before the Emil Short Commission of Inquiry investigating the incident of violence which occurred during the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election. Here's Evelyn Tingmer's report.
The Interior Minister was emphatic that personnel deployed by the police for the by-election were not armed, neither were they masked.
They were not policemen, and I would not know why they were masked. What I do know is that the police, the information I have is that all the police personnel and the immigration personnel who were deployed that day were not masked and were not armed. Beyond that, I have the assurance that nothing happened untoward as far as the men deployed by agencies under my ministry are concerned. I do not know the details. The IGP, who had a command and control of operational duty, would have those details.
He also said the IGP told him that the vehicles branded with the police service logo, which the armed men were riding in, did not belong to the police service.
I forwarded the video to the IGP, and he denied that that was not a police vehicle in use by the police. And in fact told the minister, our vehicles have GP. What is the GP number? It is not our vehicle. From the information given me by the IGP, it does not belong to the Ghana Police Service.
On political vigilantism, Ambrose Derry said his outfit is setting up a strategy to deal with it.
Well, meanwhile, the Minister for National Security, Albert Kandapar, says police personnel deployed to the Ayawaso West Wogan by-election were armed, and that no operative deployed from the National Security must carry arms. Kandapar's assertion contradicts clearly what the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, told the Commission earlier when he appeared before it. He said the SWAT team who were at the Ayawaso West Wogan could include former members of vigilante groups.
Whilst Ambrose Derry said no police officer was armed while performing their duties during the Ayawaso West Wogan by-election, the National Security Minister said all the uniformed policemen who were part of the operation were armed.
The SWAT team, from the way they operate, they take instructions from the police, and as I said, they are not allowed to hold weapons. If indeed somebody who is not a uniformed policeman and member of the SWAT team did use any weapon, that would go against the normal rules of engagement, and that should call for sanctions. Again, I'm not sure who was masked and who wasn't. I have asked that question, and I'm told that some of the uniformed policemen also had the mask on.
According to Kandapar, there is a special unit at the Office of National Security, which is a SWAT team, and it has uniformed policemen and other security services. He said SWAT deployed 60 men, comprising 25 uniformed police officers and 35 national security operatives on the day of the by-election, and that they were under the command of a deputy superintendent of police. He said the SWAT team at the National Security Headquarters had some vehicles allocated to them for their day-to-day use, adding some of them come from the police and are painted in police colors, and some are not painted but are available to the SWAT team. On why the operatives were masked, Kandapar said the mask is part of them, and that was not the first time.
These civilians have been part of the national security architecture for years. It's not something that has recently been created.
The National Security Minister disclosed that officials of the National Security SWAT team who were at Ayawaso West Wogan could include former members of vigilante groups.
The suggestion is that included in the operatives are people who normally belong to a particular vigilante group. No, that would be surprising. If some of them in the past had participated in some vigilante groups, that probably could be possible.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, David Asante Apietu, has warned the leadership of political parties the police would no longer tolerate political violence. He was addressing the media in Accra.
The recent violence during the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election appeared to have exposed the weaknesses of the security services in dealing with the violent groups and crimes. The Inspector General of Police, David Asante Apietu, traced the history of vigilantism in the country and blamed political parties for its surge.
The problem of vigilantism has two faces: politics and security. Let those within the political arena be held responsible for that. Violence and political tertiary is an unfortunate introduction in our democratic space. This cannot and should not be allowed to be our definition of democracy.
He appealed to political parties to help eradicate the menace in order to secure the future of the country.
We want to appeal to all political parties to immediately denounce their own vigilante groups, to create the necessary awareness that will embolden the police. Furthermore, if any political party intends to create new vigilante groups, we appeal for a reversal of such intention.
The Inspector General of Police, during questions time, enumerated some efforts by the police in dealing with the issue in the past, but declined to comment on why they are unable to go hard on the vigilantes.
The police are poised to arrest and profile any group of people claiming to be vigilante groups, irrespective of their political affiliation. The entire police administration is worried about the ease with which we politicize criminality to win the sympathies of political party supporters. Violence that breaches the peace, causes harm to innocent citizens, and sometimes death in the name of politics will no longer be tolerated in our security setting. We are declaring zero tolerance against political violence and vigilantism.
David Asante Apietu would not comment on the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election violence.
I will ask that we defer it in the meantime because of the Commission's work, which is ongoing, so that we don't preempt anything. But we know that an incident occurred, which the President has set up a commission of inquiry, chaired by the Honorable Emil Short.
The IGP, however, conceded vigilantism is illegal and called for all hands on deck to deal with it.
Vigilante groups are illegal. There are only two groups of security recognized in the country: the state security and the private security industry. The terror unleashed by some vigilante groups has been experienced in all our elections from the inception of Fourth Republic. The collective condemnation has given police some impetus to begin to think afresh, knowing that the public will stand with the police in enforcing the law without fear or favor. Policing by consent is a strong and principal policing principle, and we do believe that when the axe falls without consideration of which political party a person belongs to, the people of Ghana will stand with us.
Let's go into the more short commission that's going into the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election violence. Adam Bona, security analyst, joins us via Skype. Bona, I thank you for time. Now, what do you make of the apparent contradictions that appear to be dotted in all the testimonies given by the persons who appear before the commission today? For example, Bayane Champon, who is the minister in charge of national security, saying that indeed they had intelligence, moved into a particular house, but then arrested some people, but did not follow through to authenticate that intelligence of some weapons in a particular house. Let me find out your thoughts about all of this.
Well, thank you. Good evening to your viewers. For me, if you ask me, I would say
the Commission of Inquiry, the Presidential Commission, is something that, for me, day one, I would give them, on the scale of 1 to 10, I would give them 9, because then a lot of contradictions. It tells us that the two security ministers, in terms of the, now we are being told by Honorable Kandapa that Brian Achampong is assumed to be his deputy. The two of them, came into to give, testimony in a non-coordinated manner. Meanwhile, the law that establishes them, one of their objectives is to coordinate the other security agencies. So if these two gentlemen or these two people cannot, give us something that probably are more alike, but give us something that looks different, for me, it tells us that these two people probably don't know what took place, or they know it and said maybe they had a reason why they spoke in a disjointed manner.
But how does all of this indeed affect the integrity of the security architecture generally? I mean, everything that's happening right now.
I believe the president, since he formed it, I know he's in the country. Wherever he is, I believe that he's watching, and so he's following it. And I'm sure probably after viewing his two appointees, he would bow down his head in shame and say that the security architecture needs to be reorganized, in the sense that if the foremost intelligence agency in this country, the national security, comes to a public inquiry that is televised, and they give these uncoordinated responses, it should tell the president that we need to relook at the whole security architecture of this country going forward, or else we probably would one day wouldn't be establishing this type of commissions, I must say.
Mr. Bona, I thank you very much for your time this evening. I'm extremely grateful. Adam Bona is a security analyst.
In some other news, the Inspector General of Police, David Asante Apietu, has confirmed that the police is not investigating the CEO of gold dealership firm Nana Appiah Mensah, popularly referred to as NAM1. He told the media the investigations were being conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO.
On NAM1's case, as you may be aware, it is YOCO who is investigating the NAM1 case. We consulted the CID when it came to the repatriation of NAM1 into Ghana. We have to use the Interpol channels. So if you saw it in the newspapers, there was a release signed by the public affairs officer of YOCO and that of the police. So this is where we come in as far as NAM1 is concerned.
On MTN Video Report today, a concerned citizen from Elembele in the Western region who had earlier complained about a broken electric pole now reports on the results that we have gotten.
Few days ago, we reported about a broken pole that was posing threat to the residents of this area. As a result of the report that we made to TV3, ECG responded quickly to our plight and has come to replace the broken pole with a new one. As we can see, it no longer poses any threat from the top to the down. Looking ahead, we can see some broken poles. Those ones represent the old one that was removed. And this is the hole from which it was removed. We are now saying thank you to ECG and to TV3 for broadcasting this.
Certainly. We thank you too as well. MTN Video Report, TV3 will certainly get results for you. And that's why we're encouraging you to do this for us. And you can send also your video report to WhatsApp number 055-1433-044. So live here on News 360. Stay with us. After this, Pakus Yosari comes with business news. Hello, good evening and welcome to the business news segment on News 360. My name is Pa Kwesi Asare. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Kapito, wants government to review the duty on second-hand vehicle imports. At a news conference in Accra, he expressed disappointment over the high rate, describing the move as criminal, illegal and unacceptable. Here's a report by my colleague Frederick Clarence Williams.
Per that calculation, my vehicle should have cost me about $14,000 to $15,000 maximum, including the cost that I paid for the vehicle. But because of the calculation, I paid $8,500. I paid a duty of $14,000, almost $500. So the car is now cost to me in Ghana was almost $26,000.
He said it's incomprehensible for the duty on second-hand vehicle imports to be higher than the cost of the vehicle.
You've heard Honorable Kennedy Japan cry of duties. We've heard the importers cry of duties. And now the average Ghanaian is also crying that this duty should be looked at. The interesting part is, I don't know any commodity in the world that the duty of the commodity is more than the cost of the product, except Ghana.
He demanded a prompt review to ensure the right thing is done.
I've spoken with GRA. I've asked Deputy Minister of Finance. I've asked various people, and they are telling me that as for Ghana, dear, this is the way we do it. It is criminal. It is illegal. It is unacceptable.
Meanwhile, the coalition against the imposition of luxury vehicle tax will take to the streets on Tuesday, February 19, in a protest to pressure government to scrap the tax after a 2-week ultimatum elapsed. Well, according to the spokesperson for the coalition, Duncan Amwa, the luxury vehicle tax is gradually collapsing the car dealership industry in the country.
On January 29, the coalition against the imposition of the luxury vehicle tax gave government a 2-week ultimatum to scrap the tax.
We, the car dealers, in conjunction with these other concerned groups and associations, will be left with nothing but to stage a very huge demonstration against this policy if it is not withdrawn within 2 weeks after this press conference.
The coalition intends to embark on a demonstration on Tuesday, February 19.
I think that it is not helping both the private Ghanaian people and then businesses that are also engaged in buying and selling of those kinds of vehicles. People have paid duties on these vehicles since last year, July. Nobody wants to buy those vehicles. Those who even have very older versions of such vehicles with 3.0 are being asked to pay $1,000 and $2,000. Meanwhile, the critical mass that could have been also brought in to bring more revenue to the government have been exempted. So clearly, you don't see what sort of thinking went into all of this, and we think that it needs to be scrapped immediately and some thorough review done.
The coalition against the imposition of the luxury vehicle tax is made up of Vehicle and Asset Dealers Association of Ghana, VEDAG, Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association of Ghana, Concerned Drivers Association, the True Drivers Union, and the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC. The law imposing an annual tax on vehicles with higher capacity engines came into force on August 1, 2018. This was after Parliament's approval of the tax proposed by the Finance Minister when he delivered the mid-year review budget. According to the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, the tax affects vehicles with engine capacity of 2,950 cubic centimeters and more. The Driver and Vehicle License Authority, DVLA, has been authorized to collect the levy ranging from 1,000 cedis to 2,000 cedis on behalf of the government.
You're still watching the business news segment on News 360. We're going to stay a while longer on vehicles tonight because a new Mercedes-Benz ambulance, which was built with specifications for Ghana, has been unveiled by Silver Star Auto Limited here in Accra. The automobile is equipped with the best life-saving devices.
The Mercedes-Benz ambulance is built to suit the country's terrain and respond to medical trauma emergencies. A co-partake in disaster rescue and emergency response incidents, traveling at high speed and providing the first aid required to save lives.
We unveil these ambulances in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
All the medical devices were manufactured in Germany by Weinmann Emergency, one of the world's leading producer of quality medical equipment.
Accident can happen to anybody of us. We are all vulnerable for the Almighty, but we have to take advantage of the situation that we have a good equipment to help us, because sometimes we do have some children, we have some mothers, we have some sisters, we have some elderly member of the family, they need help. And this is at least a reward to let the patient to come home, to arrive to the hospital and get home finally.
Deputy Minister for Health Kingsley Abuaji-Jedu says government is taking steps to ensure that the adequate number of ambulances are acquired. He added that some 500 paramedics are currently under training.
They are supposed to finish the training by June. They have finished the first 3 months. They are doing attachment at various hospitals. My understanding is that they are going back sometime in March for another 2 or 3 months. So by June, they will have all passed out. And we are trying to target the procurement of the ambulance to meet them at the time that they finish the training.
There's a 3-year warranty for private hospitals and individuals who purchase the ambulance. Accra Graphic Road, Tema CPC Road Community 1, Takrade Power Grants Avenue, Kumase Prempe, the First Street and Tamale are 5 points of service for the Silver Star Auto Limited in Ghana.
Well, that's all for the very latest in business news. For more business news stories, do log on to our website, www.3news.com. My name is Pakwasi Asare. Thank you, Pakwasi. MTN Ghana has launched its annual Save a Life blood donation campaign here in Accra. Since its inception in 2011, the telecommunications company has spearheaded the collection of over 9,500 pints of blood to stock the National Blood Bank.
According to the World Health Organization, someone needs a blood transfusion to survive every second. And in most developing countries, those requiring blood transfusions still depend on paid donors or family member donors. Sadly, the awareness creation on the need to donate has still not yielded the desired result. The MTN Save a Life blood donation campaign aims at addressing the shortfall. The company has recorded many heartwarming stories of people whose lives have been saved through the exercise. 19 bleeding centers have been set up across the country to collect blood from donors.
It's actually a good feeling knowing you are saving a life. You know, it's not easy doing this, but it's not much painful. And you know you are saving a life. Somebody may need it. You don't know, maybe you don't have much money or you don't have worth to help somebody out there. But this may be your little way that you can help somebody out there.
They should be bold and come out for it, because they might be sitting on someone's life. Once you come out, you are saving someone's life.
Some donors were happy about the campaign and its motive.
The feeling for MTN is excitement and a fulfillment that we are helping in the healthcare delivery process of our nation. The initiative started in 2011 and it was at the inception a staff initiative, but then we realized that there was excitement about it. We included customers, our trade partners, etc., and it has grown in leaps and bounds, and we are here today with a target of 3,500 units pints of blood as our target for today.
According to the National Blood Service, a 1% of the population voluntary donation on a regular basis would ensure sustainable blood stock.
Now, it's been 12 years since the institution of a National Chocolate Day in Ghana, an initiative by the Tourism Ministry to encourage patronage of locally made chocolate and also promotes the country as a preferred cocoa tourist destination. But has the day made any difference in consumption and sale of cocoa products?
Ghana is one of the world's largest exporters of cocoa beans, from which chocolate is made. Over 70% of cocoa produced in the country is exported. The beans are processed into products such as chocolates, confectionaries, amongst others. Around the world, there are many dates throughout the year promoting variations of local, national or international chocolate days. Here in Ghana, the National Chocolate Day has been designed to coincide with Valentine's Day. Aside the promotion of locally made chocolates and other cocoa-based products, the day aims at creating awareness for Ghanaians to appreciate the health benefits of chocolates.
The National Chocolate Day has come to stay. Currently, it's been included in our tourism calendar of events. The Chocolate Day, as we are all saying, that it should come and stay.
But what do some Ghanaians make of the National Chocolate Day?
I know it's a day where people give gifts, chocolates. It's about love. You tell someone how you feel concerning the person and all that. So it's a day of love, red day.
It's a day that people usually buy chocolates and stuff for their loved one. But in Ghana here, the chocolates that are made here are really expensive.
So I think it's a day they encourage you to eat made in Ghana chocolate, and it's nice.
Public Affairs Manager of Cocoa Processing Company Limited, James Ekorule, underscored the health benefits of locally made chocolates.
The local brand has been produced with the Ghanaian in mind, and our mission is to process cocoa and bring its health benefits to Ghanaians. So we are more interested in the health aspect of the consumption. So you have to find out what is it that you are eating. If you are going to compare a chocolate to a bowl of kenke, then you say it's expensive. But what you get from chocolate is more than what you get from the bowl of kenke, which is more of carbohydrate.
He explained patronage of the products has witnessed a significant growth with the inception of the National Chocolate Day.
We have seen a lot of growth in chocolate consumption. There was a time that we were doing in total every confectional, all the confectional products together about 100 to 200 metric tons. Now we're doing about 2,000 metric tons. You see the jump, and it's good to give chocolate as gifts.
James Ekorule stressed the need for stakeholders in the sector to do more to ensure local farmers also experience the final outputs of their hard work.
The day is still young, really. Just grab some chocolate, really, and touch someone. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has promised to secure funds for the construction of shelter for street children. He gave the assurance when he joined Reverend Father Andrew Campbell and the parishioners of the Christ the King Catholic Church in Accra to put some joy in the lives of street children to mark this year's Valentine's Day.
The Soup Kitchen is an initiative of Reverend Father Andrew Campbell with a support from the church to lead and help the less privileged, especially street children, and provide skills training to help them earn a living and leave the streets. The Vice President lauded the efforts of Reverend Father Andrew Campbell and the church and presented 20,000 cedis to support their work.
We in government will also do a lot, we think, to help. We've been talking to Father Campbell, and we've been talking about shelters and finding land to build a real soup kitchen. And I've talked to the mayor of Accra, and we are making very good progress on that. And I believe that we are going to get the land to build the shelters, not only for the street children, but also for the Kayaye.
Reverend Father Campbell, who is also the chairman of the Lepers Association of Ghana, promised to seek further support for the construction of the shelter.
We would like to start and build a proper soup kitchen and a proper shelter for these people. On this plan, we build a shelter where the children can go to school.
Some of the street children requested government to enroll them in schools.
A great way to mark Valentine's Day, isn't it? You're watching News 360.
Hello, good evening and happy Val's Day to you. So this day is mostly celebrated with heart-adorned cards, bumper boxes of chocolate, bouquets of red roses and teddy bears, amongst others. We sought out to find what items people are buying to spend on this day.
I found a love for me. Well, darling, just dive right in. Follow my lead.
When you think of Valentine's Day, you probably think of flowers, chocolates, and notes sealed with a kiss. This beautiful day got its name from a famous Roman saint, Saint Valentine, who was arrested for conducting marriages in secrecy despite the ban on it. He fell in love with a jailer's daughter, and before he was executed on February 14, he allegedly sent her a letter signed "From your Valentine." Since then, most people use the day to celebrate their loved ones. Love is in the air. After all, it is Valentine's Day. All the love-struck couples are looking forward to spend some quality time with each other. On the special occasion, gestures in forms of flowers, gifts, and romantic letters are exchanged globally where the celebration is intense. As love springs out today, the entertainment desk sought to find out from traders of Valentine packages how purchases of these goods have been today.
Previously during Valentine's Day, most of our wares are bought, but this year, they are not buying at all, and sales is down.
Well, love is in the air, and the show was here at Media General. We celebrated this year's Val's Day with a host of exciting activities. Staff and management all came together at the forecourt of Adesawe to take part in the activities. Here are some highlights of today.
Media General, in expressing its love to its cherished workers, organized an activity-packed games at the premises. There were fun games including obstacle course, blind drawing, table tennis, the FIFA games, and musical chairs. Staff and management were extremely excited. The final showdown was the table tennis finals. But unfortunately, the sports journalist suffered a 5 straight defeat. Etonam Say emerged winner after Komla Kluche was disqualified in the finals of the musical chairs. Some winners expressed their excitement.
Well, it was a fierce battle, but you know, if you have the will, there's always a way, and so I managed to win the competition. So here's me, going away with this beautiful chocolate on Valentine's Day. Thank you, TV3.
It feels exciting. Like, I haven't done this in so long, but to realize that I still have it, it makes me feel excited because, I mean, I stood there for like over an hour. Nobody was able to beat me.
You beat top giants like Thierry.
I beat everybody. Thierry, I beat Cyril, I beat Metal, I beat all the guys. Jokoto.
And that's how we spent.
Not beat me in table tennis.
You play table tennis,
yes.
But you didn't win. You lost
record.
it.
Yeah. I beat
we didn't even see the video, but
how come you weren't featured, Alfred?
I don't know. I don't know where the comments were. But there's chocolate here.
For Chocolate Day, absolutely.
For Chocolate Day.
He promised he was bringing us chocolate, and he made it happen.
Yes. My name is Alfred Okanse.
We'll share the chocolate word with you. I'm Natalie Force. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed your Valentine's and National Chocolate Day. Have a lovely evening. Thanks so much for watching.